I'm Dr. Sharifah Halimah. I'm currently a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist in this hospital for the last 3 years. Yeah, cervical cancer is a cancer affecting the neck, which is the part of the uterus. We call it a neck. Uterus have two parts, which is the body and the neck. So this cancer actually affecting the neck. So we call it cervical cancer, a cervix. Okay, but what I'm trying to say today is actually more of a prevention of cervical cancer, because I think the awareness of cervical cancer in this country is still very low compared to other part of the world. Not only Malaysia, I suppose the Asian countries. If you look at the cervical cancer, every 2 minutes, worldwide, every 2 minutes, one woman died of cervical cancer. That is the burden of the world, yeah? And 80% of this death occur in the underdeveloped countries or developing countries where cervical smear cancer screening program is not available or is not properly done, 80%. And unfortunately, Malaysia is one of the country, yeah, in the Asian country that have this highest burden of cervical cancer. And if you look at in terms of the incidence of cervical cancer, it is second cause of death, number 2. It's number 2 common cancer affecting women. But if you look at the cause of death in women, cervical cancer is number 4 killer of women in the world, after lung cancer, stomach cancer, and breast cancer. Breast cancer is still number 1 in terms of the incident, and second, cervical cancer is the second common. So that's how serious is this cervical cancer in terms of that. No? Now, with regards to the cause of cervical cancer, last time we do not know, we don't have that much of knowledge of the cause of cervical cancer. There's so many causes that we thought could be due to food, could be due to some virus, or or multifactorial causes. But now people have done so much research. I think the last 10 years we understand that we have so much knowledge that we know cervical cancer is due to infection, which is the organism is a virus. We call it human papilloma virus, and this is the only cause of cervical cancer now. The knowledge, the understanding now in the body of knowledge, we know the only cause of cervical cancer now is human papilloma virus, HPV. There's no other cause of cervical cancer. The people have, scientists has proven this fact that HPV is the cause of cervical cancer. Full stop. There's no other cause. If you look at the relationship, of this causal agent and the cancer, okay, let's take example of cigarette smoking, and lung cancer. And we know that the cigarette smoking cause lung cancer. In fact, some country trying to, do a lot of policy to reduce cigarette smoking, in their population, because it causes lung cancer and this and that. If you look at that, cigarette smoking cause, the risk of developing lung cancer is 10 times for those who smoke cigarette. But for women who actually acquired HPV infection, human papilloma virus infection, the risk of that woman developing cervical cancer is 300 to 500 times. So that is that strong, that relationship, of this HPV and cervical cancer. So that's why, that it is important for us to understand, because, as there's a prevention for it, yeah. Right, and with regards to HPV, HPV, human papilloma virus, of course, not all HPV causing cervical cancer. There are many types of HPV actually out there. In fact, scientists continue to identify them, over the years. So now we have so many types, of HPV, and then they usually type them by numbers. So there are 2 groups. We call it oncogenic type, which is the one prone to develop cervical cancer, or not cervical cancer, cancers. It can also cause, other than cervical cancer, it also can cause skin cancer, penis cancer, and this and that. So we call it oncogenic HPV. And we have a non-oncogenic HPV, which is those HPV causing some other skin problem like warts and this and that, that is non-oncogenic. Okay, so those oncogenic one, example, the most potent, potent means the most strongest one, very high association with the cervical cancer is 16, HPV 16 and 18. So this 16 and 18. Of course, there's other oncogenic one like 31, 58, 42, and this and that, which shares the same family with this 16 and 18, so causing cervical cancer. Okay, now if we look at this 16 and 18, or in terms of the causes of cervical cancer, if we take it like, for example, 100,000 of women got cervical cancer, if we test them for the antibody of the HPV, it means that those women has been exposed to HPV before, so their body will produce some antibody which stay there forever. So we should be able to actually detect that. If you do that, 100% of these women will have antibody, anti-DNA antibody for HPV. It means that 100% due to HPV. But 70% of these women, HPV, is due to the HPV 16 and 18. And another 30% is due to other types of oncogenic HPV like HPV 33, 13, 58 and so on. But 70% is due to HPV 16 and 18. So that's why we need to understand this, because now there's a prevention available in terms of vaccination, immunization, that I think our country now actually probably in the future going to vaccinate, young girls aged 13 and above, for the future prevention of cervical cancer. So I think people need to know about this HPV, human papillomavirus, 16, 18, which one causing cervical cancer and this and that, in order for them to come up, have the awareness, to come for the prevention vaccination. Because there's a lot of resistance, I find in the public about the cervical cancer immunization, especially the parents and this and that. So that's why I think educating them on the HPV, the causes of cervical cancer or HPV, how it acquired and this and that is very important. Yeah.